Hello. Thank you. My name is Wendy Noggle. I'm the editor-in-chief of People. Thank you all so much for coming. This is night one of our very special exhibit, which really did take a village to put together. As you can probably imagine, we published 52 issues, 50 years. That's, give or take 2,500 issues that we had to pore over to try to select what could possibly be the best, most iconic images to hang on the walls that you see around you tonight. It was not an easy endeavor. Our photo director, Ilana, was incredibly, incredibly helpful, and the team at Fotografiska, I could not thank you enough for being such wonderful, wonderful partners. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Wendy, and I will let you guys enjoy this wonderful evening with these incredible photographers who really make what we do each and every week so incredibly special. So thank you, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, Wendy. And welcome everyone, welcome our members, welcome our friends at People. My name is Wendy Wyman. I'm the Director of Programming for the museum. And just a little bit about where you are. And again, thank you so much for being here. Fotografiska is a contemporary museum of photography, art, and culture with locations in Stockholm, New York, Tallinn, and now Berlin and Shanghai. We create space for photographers, artists, and thinkers whose work reflects, critiques, and informs contemporary society, introducing new perspectives to our community to inspire a more conscious world. I welcome you to tonight's conversation in recognition of People celebrating 50 years. We see famous faces every day. What makes an image not just unforgettable, but so iconic, it will be remembered for decades. People Director of Photography Ilana Schweber talks to Harry Benson, Elinor Carucci, Phylicia Munn, and Ben Watts about how they capture the essence of their subjects, the behind-the-scenes stories of some of People's most memorable photos, and so much more. Enjoy the conversation, and thank you all for being here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate you all being here and seeing the amazing work that's been done by hundreds of photographers over the past 50 years. And I'm so excited to speak with 4 people who have really exemplified the different types of photography that we have done at People during that time. Obviously, Harry Benson, an icon. So Harry photographed for even before the first issue of People for a test cover with Julie Eisenhower. And then for the first issue of People, he did an inside story on Palm Beach. But Harry, what do you remember about your first issue of People or the third issue with J. Paul Getty about being part of the new brand?
They all had a fit. They had a fit. I thought it was great, but it's something that never happened before. He was 99, and old men don't sell. I think it was a disaster in the first issue, really. So I'm very proud of that, of having the worst selling cover. I mean, Paul Getty, he was 99. And we went there straight to Farrah Fawcett or somebody, which was smart. But I liked it, though, You liked it, too.
And then Elinor, this is your first shoot for People. Do you remember getting the call? Do you remember why you wanted to shoot for People?
My friend Jillian Laub told me, Elinor, people are doing the kind of stories that you do, stories about family and love and intimacy and struggle. So she hooked me up with the people of People, and I went to show my work, and then did this story of Jenny Hatch, and I'll never forget her. So it was very close to my heart. I spent 2 days with her and her adopting family.
Wow, 2 days? Now we're lucky if we get 2 hours.
Huge budget. Back in the days, 2 or 3 days for go spend time with the family.
And Jenny was a young woman with Down syndrome who sued to be emancipated from her family and live with a family that she wanted to live with.
right? And she won. It was a lot. It went to court, and she won the case, and it was a precedent for other people with disabilities to take decisions about their own lives. And she was so entertaining and loving and funny and optimistic, and she was singing and dancing, I won my case, I won my case. And I'm like, she was incredible. And this is her sister, adopted sister, and they, who also, she has disabilities, physical disabilities, and they are so close and so loving. So it was very inspiring. And, you know, I photographed myself and my children and my mom. So I felt at home within, especially because of Jenny, within a few hours, I was just like with them singing and dancing. And I was about to go back to the hotel. They're like, no, you're having dinner with us. And then I took more pictures. It was great.
That. Beautiful. Phylicia, this is your first shoot with us. I feel like this is your life. So this was relatively recently in 2020. You're new to the brand, but I remember getting this shoot back and thinking how beautiful it was, and excited to have you as someone we're going to work with again and again. Do you remember what happened when you received, I assume it was an email at that point and not a call, or if it was a brand you knew, read, and what it meant to you?
Yes, thank you. So I do remember, it was actually an email from Sarah Burrows. She's in here. There she is. Hey, Sarah. And so she sent me an email on a Sunday asking me if I was available to do a shoot on the upcoming Tuesday. So I was like, okay. So I was very excited, but then along with that excitement, I was very focused on making sure I got all the things together to do the shoot properly. And so it was very quick turnaround in terms of getting the email, talking to her, putting together a mood board, having a sense of where it was going to be. And then also trying to get a little bit of an understanding of the two of them, India and Catherine. It was shot at Catherine's home, the mother. And I really liked this shot that came out of it because one of the goals that I had was to try to show the connection and the support between the two of them. And they were really great to work with. So I'm also happy it worked out well. You continue to call me.
Do you ever regret when we email you 2 days before the shoot?
No, now I'm used to it.
So for anyone who doesn't know, this is Catherine Oxenberg, the actress, and her daughter India, who got caught up in the NXIVM cults. And Catherine was able to get her out of the cult, and now she's someone we follow. She's doing quite well. She lives in Florida. She got married. She's having a baby. So happy ending all around. And thank you, Phylicia, for a beautiful shoot. Ben, this is your life. Do you remember this day with Mr. Vin Diesel?
Yeah, I remember it well. Actually, this was my first job for the magazine. And
2002. Ooh, that
was
loud.
it 2000?
Yes.
Yeah, and I shot it on film. I was still shooting film back then, and I wasn't familiar with Vin Diesel. I was like, who is this Vin Diesel? The name was good. It struck me, and I used Wikipedia to check him out. And he's a New York guy, and you like the gym, obviously. Yeah, this is a good pick. And went down, very charismatic guy, got on with everybody, made everybody feel very special, left everybody feeling really good after the shoot. You know, you often, when you leave a photo shoot, you sort of judge it by the way you feel immediately afterwards. And he made everybody put a really good impression, and that's something that was a takeaway that I sort of carry in my photo shoots. You make people feel good.
That's fantastic. Harry, back to you. So this is our bicentennial issue in 1776. You photographed Muhammad Ali, and you photographed Joe Namath.
Well, we wanted Muhammad Ali at Washington, but then he had a fit with me to tell me that George Washington had slaves. Big screaming, it was terrible. And going on, as if it was my fault, because it was and he was screaming away. I said, well, why don't you be a slave? And he became got him in chains, and I marched him to a good spot, and there he is. MC Martin, the picture editor, liked the picture a lot, so made it easier, you know. But it was a bad scene, you know. I mean, it was a scene.
Did other people see you photographing Muhammad Ali in chains?
In
Was there
chains.
public there?
Yes, people, oh yes. We pass a crowd of campers, and he's slipping past them, and he stops and he says, "Look what's happened to me. This white man has taken my family, taken everything for me. I've got no money. Can't you do anything?" And he said, "You black people do nothing. You could stop them." And Ali's screaming, and they're looking whether to really come and slap me. You know what I mean? And I'm telling them, "Oh no, be quiet, quiet." But it went on for about a good 10 minutes with screaming. And then he started to laugh, and everybody laughed, and I was relieved. I'm not joking here. It was like, please shut the fuck up. You know, please. Somebody else for George Washington. I put John Amos in that. No, he was George Washington. We got a stupid boat, and you know. But John Amos was good then, because he was throwing a lot of touchdowns over at Shea Stadium. Sorry. And he was saying to me, "Do you think I look stupid?" You know, I said, "No, you look fine." "No, you look fine, Joe."
That's a fantastic story.
Yes.
So as Harry has just pointed out, that there's often unexpected things happening on set. And we go in with a plan, and things rarely go to that plan, or sometimes. But I feel what's important about everyone up here is that they're able to pivot and go with the flow and bring in amazing imagery anyways. Ben and I were out in the very hot Vegas desert for this shoot with the Jonas Brothers, and this is, I hope no one from like risk management is here listening to what happened. Ben, tell them how you got this shot.
We got them driving the car, and well, first of all, we brought this awesome car, so we have to use it. We've got to get it on the road, and basically tracking, you know. And I've done a lot of shots like this before, but wanted to get alongside them, so we were driving on a road with taking up the whole road, but both lanes, and we followed them, and just were able to get a really, carefree photo, and it wasn't without its sort of safety issues, etc. But they weren't a problem.
What Ben's not telling you is that he was hanging out of the production van.
Oh yeah, that part.
Sliding door open, and the video crew was popped out of the sunroof.
Yeah, we were going pretty fast, and it
fast.
wasn't necessarily the best. The safest situation, but you do things to get the picture, and we got it, and that's important. We brought home the bacon.
So that was actual driving, no film driving there. And Phylicia, the first cover Phylicia shot for us was with the amazing Simone Biles for our People of the Year issue. And Phylicia, can you tell us about your trip to Texas?
Yes, so this shoot was at Simone Biles' gym in Texas, and obviously I knew I would be there ahead of time. But what I didn't know when I got there was that the gymnasts that normally practice there would also be there. So we walk into the gym, and it's filled with 50 or so gymnasts aged 3 to 10 to teenage years, tumbling, practicing, running, and we're kind of guided to a corner on the mat next to them, and we're like, yeah, you can set up your backdrop right here, and Simone come out and have her photo taken here. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, so are you going to close the gym? And they were like, no, they're going to stay here. And that was surprising because I'm so used to having a very close set with people who are recognizable. And so it just took me a few seconds to adjust, and I was like, okay, let's rock with it. We're just gonna shoot right here. But it really gave me another sense of who Simone Biles is as a person, that she didn't feel like she needed to stop the progress that those gymnasts could be making in their lives because she had a photo shoot, and she's very personable and like within reach to them. So it just gave me another perspective of who she was outside of the limelight that we typically see. But it was a good time. It was nice. Right to camera left were toddlers, like age 3 and 4. Very precious.
I just like that she's able to look at you. I'd be like, the whole time, not making eye contact with the camera.
Yeah. Oh, and this frame right here, you can see the gym in the background. We actually asked the gymnasts to just stand to the side for a second so we can get a clean shot. But there are a lot of frames where you can actually see them.
I didn't want to have to deal with model releases. This story, which is beautiful, is on the wall over there if you want to read it in its entirety. But Elinor, you went to prison with women who are part of a special program where they can, for up to a certain age, raise their child with them in jail. Can you tell us what it was like being there and the whole experience?
Yes, it was intense. Thank you, Florence Nash, for years of support and working with me. I needed your support on this one and on others, and you're always there for me. First of all, just getting the gear into a prison. I had to get all the numbers. We had to come 2 hours before and get everything checked, every battery. And then you're in prison. I met Karen, and it was a day in a life photo shoot. So I came there before she woke up with her baby, and then we spent the whole day together just with her. And I think it was, first I'm in prison, so I had to get over myself, and then within an hour or two, it's a mother and her daughter, and it's beautiful. And I know the routine from my life and dropping off to the nursery school. And I think Karen was very proud. She was proud that she got into this program, and she wanted to show us how well she's raising her daughter. So she was giving me a lot, Sometimes you photograph a person and I have 15 minutes. We had the whole day together. The bath, the dinner, everything. I put them to sleep. They went to sleep. I was there with my assistant and the light, and they went to sleep, and I said goodbye. So it was very special.
I love the juxtaposition of the everyday with the abnormal. Like if you get rid of the left side, it just looks like family meal, and then there's a guard looking on.
Right. Some of the guards actually were very attached to the two of them, and the guard, she seemed like a little menacing here, but she was very nice. She just she's doing her job. But there were a lot of tears and a lot of laughter. The guards and the other women and everything they're going through. A lot of life. Very intense, a lot of emotions
It's
in
beautiful,
one day.
and it's not, I've obviously read the story a few times. I suggest everyone read it. But it's not a program that I would have heard about otherwise, except through people showing, these everyday people in extraordinary situations.
And this is not something I could have photographed without People magazine or a magazine on that level. So the access is...
I think one of the other hallmarks of People is just these caught moments that are really showing celebrities in an everyday light or in something that is not so composed. Harry, can you talk about these?
We see there the dog having a piss on Tracy Ullman's leg. I would like to have brought that dog everywhere I went, and done it. But let me say something. I want to thank two of my picture editors are here, M.C. Martin and Maddie Miller. And And without them, I might have done a lot better. No, I'm joking. They were terrific. But there again, I do like the dog.
I think the dog makes the photo.
Tracy Ullman did help a little. She put
I mean,
a
she
leg
can do
out.
the split. That's
Yeah, she
impressive.
put a leg out, you know.
She's taking it well. I would not have taken it that well.
No, well, look at her face.
She stayed for the joke. That's a
That's
real
right.
comedian.
No, I think, honestly, that was a picture that People magazine looked for. I tried to get a dog to pee on the president. Didn't happen, you know. Actually, one did a big mess right on the carpet. Yes. And the president picked it up.
No.
Oh, honest. Yeah, really.
Wait, who?
True. Yes.
True?
Yes, true. I didn't pick up the president anymore.
Wait, which president?
Yep. What's his name? No, what's the one? What's he? The good-looking young one. Clinton.
Clinton?
Yeah, Clinton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, he picked, I'll say it to you again, he picked a piece of shit off the ground.
Extraordinary people doing ordinary things.
And he took it, and a servant came in and he made a good picture.
Gigi's moving us on. This Dolly picture is absolutely iconic and stunning, but this was during the photo shoot or before the photo shoot?
She was getting ready for the you know, they always did the last minute touches. And she went over to this mirror at the side of the studio. And I just said, you know, Dolly, stay there a bit longer, and I shifted my lights. And it was a cover of People. Made a lot of money for them. No? But it's a good picture, isn't it? You know. Yes, but I like that one better.
And then this is the shoot that you did for the first issue of People. This is part of it because it was much longer and I couldn't fit it on the screen. And this was really just about Palm Beach society.
I think I did every one of those pictures.
You did. There were
Yes.
more pages too.
That's right, yes.
I really love this up here is Estee Lauder getting her portrait done.
No, I was very keen in this. This was the first issue of People, and there was a rumor that it wasn't a rumor, it was the truth, that if the tryout didn't go well, they would put it off.
Oh.
So I was keen for it because, you know, it was like bringing Life magazine back in a way, you know. Life mag, a piece of shit, no. Joking. But you know what I mean.
I love it. I
then
wish
it went on, and I wasn't unemployed.
Right, the Apple TV Plus show. It's called Palm Royale.
Yeah, I wasn't unemployed, you know.
Elinor, this is a story you did for us back in 2019, and this is Samantha Rodriguez. Her parents died 3 months apart of cancer, and she is raising her 5 siblings. And I actually misremembered this, unimportant. I thought it was COVID and during COVID, and her parents died of COVID, but it was before.
Before, yeah. I think it was the last shoot I did before COVID, if I remember correctly.
And my question to you about this is, you see this family trying so hard, and Samantha is 19 years old, and she's struggling. How are you able to do your job there and take the photos and not jump in and fold a load of laundry?
What I did, and at some point I had to stop it, I let them take my camera and play with it. But they have such a chaotic life, and so many things are happening, and the kids and the food And the strobes, so at some point I was like, guys, we need to stop. Like, you need to give me back my camera because it's gonna break. Because it was a lot. It was a lot. I remember, I mean, they're so incredible. They're so hardworking. They're such good kids. And my kids at the time were, I don't know, 13. I have twins. And I remember coming home and saying, guys, from now on, we're going to change the rules here because I saw the kids, they're cleaning, they're cooking, they're waking up morning, they're dressed. I'm like, wow, this was impressive. But, you know, their childhood ended a little early in some way because they lost both parents. But it was amazing also, some of it is not in the pictures, to see the community, the neighbors, the close diner, like people know them and try to help them.
Phylicia, this is a beautiful shoot you did with us for the cast of Wakanda Forever with Lupita, Denai, and Letitia. And can you tell us about this day? And I think this is your favorite shoot for us.
Yeah, this is for sure my favorite people shoot, mostly because just the energy on set and just the experience in general was just something I will probably never forget. But this particular one was part of the press junket tour that the cast was doing to promote the movie. And so when I got the call about doing the shoot, I'm like, absolutely, I'm ready, let me know. And then I was given the heads up, it's part of the press junket tour, so you're probably gonna have maybe 15 minutes, not even. And I was like, no problem, I'm ready. And so it was in a hotel conference room. People magazine was allotted 30 minutes in total, and we had to split that time between photo and video. And I had to shoot the three of them together within that time. And I remember telling Gladys, the People editor, I was like, I'm fine with 15 minutes, but if I can at least get an hour or two to set up, that'd be a big help. And thankfully, I had the time to set up. And then I told her, I was like, I want to do a red backdrop. And I remember talking to her, and she was like, that's a very bright color. I was like, yeah, but I think it's going to be great. It's going to make their skin look amazing with their skin tones, a very strong color. I know I don't have any idea what they're wearing, but we're going to hope for the best, that it doesn't clash. So I did have backup plans in case I got there and they were wearing like a Christmas green. I probably wouldn't have photographed them against a red backdrop. And so we set up. I had someone go find them somewhere else to figure out what they were wearing, and I found out they were wearing neutral color tones, and I was like, perfect, this is going to look really good. And then they got there. Beyonce's Renaissance album had just come out, and I like to play music to just, you know, we're having fun, we're taking pictures. It's not that deep. So they also enjoyed the album, and it really was like a mini party for those 15 minutes of the three of us listening to the music. They know each other really well, so they already had a natural bond and chemistry, and it just allowed me those few minutes to kind of connect with them and just photograph them as who they are and try to get the most dynamic shot I can in a short amount of time, because even though it was a press junket tour, I was like, I really want this to be a good photo. Like, I don't want to just photograph them against a wall. Like, I want to try to make the best of the moment. And I think that happened with this photo.
Do you think, I feel like both the stories you've told so far are like, and it was really fast, and everything was really fast, and it, you know, it was the day before, and then I had 5 minutes, and then it was a cover. Do you feel that the situations we have put you in have prepared you for other jobs?
I would definitely say so. You and your team and people do a really great job of doing highly produced shoots with no time. So anytime I get a call and I have a week to prepare, I'm like, oh, no problem. We'll be ready. So yeah, definitely I feel like working with you all has given me different ways to just always be ready. Like, I have inspiration photos just saved that I can easily reference, just ways to quickly pull sources of information. So if I do get a call and they need answers right away, I have answers.
And I like that you had the pivot. I like that you sent, you know, your assistant to check the outfits and have a different background color in case it was not right.
Yeah, definitely. And then I remember I posted these photos. So the other thing is, I don't always have a strong attachment to my photos when I take them. It's kind of like I take them, I'm like, that's good. And then it's published and I go on to the next project. And I remember I published these photos and they essentially went viral. And it made me take a pause and look at them again. I'm like, oh, people really like these. I was like, okay, I guess these are really nice photos. So yeah, it's something I'll never forget.
And Ben, I feel like over the 20 plus years you have photographed for people, you've done every type of possible shoot. You've done covers, you've done at home with celebrities and their children, you've done beautiful women without makeup, you've done sexy men. What do you think having all these different types of photography in people really ties it together? Like, I just feel like I love it.
I think the energy that you bring to the set and what you were mentioning about music, I was agreeing 100% with what you were saying, and because it's definitely very important to create a comfortable and fun and energetic environment so people feed off the energy and mirror what's happening on set. And that's definitely something I try, and I take that as a formula. And being able, what you mentioned again before, having an answer for everything, like whatever shape you need to be to fit through the hole, you become that shape and get it done, you know. And because there are a lot of sort of tight timelines that you have to perform in, and you have to bring it home. So definitely having those qualities is very important, and it's always a joy to be involved with People magazine. You know, if it's a 2-day sort of a 2-day lead up or a week lead up, it's always a pleasure when those emails come through or those notifications come through that you're going to be working on set. Doesn't matter who it is, nothing too big, nothing too small. It's always fun.
Nothing too small, I heard that.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
It's never small. It's never small.
And I feel like this was a very beautiful, maybe one of my favorite sexy men personally, shoot. And it was very produced. It was a big day. But then other shoots you've done for us, this is 2 different sets. The one on the left is from the Toronto Film Festival, and the ones on the right are from the Oscar portfolio of nominees that year. But they're both such moments. And I really feel like I am seeing the personality of these celebrities.
Yeah, again, and it's using that formula with telling jokes, keeping the music going, just throwing it out there, you know. Sometimes you gotta act like a fool, and I'm good at that. So. And just to make people feel comfortable, because if you go in stiff, you're going to get stiff. So you have to sort of throw it out there. And these ones were very tight timelines. We had these ideas set up, and you know, the publicists aren't always going to say yes to it, and the celebrity, the talent doesn't always agree with it. So then you have to go quickly to plan B, and then they don't like plan B, so you have to go to plan C. So you have to be able to come up with an answer very quickly and in the time allotted. And some of them will only like 15 minutes, 5 minutes. But there's a lot of sitting around and hurry up and wait situations, which you get a lot of time to think and prepare. And so when the moment comes, you're completely ready. It's all about being ready and having an answer. And knowing a bit about the person you're photographing as well, so you can connect with them. And so Javier, I knew he played rugby, so I immediately came in with that. And that's probably not a question that people ask him about. So he immediately, you know, we had a connection, you know. So that was a good thing. Just little things like that you can sort of do a little sort of semi-deep dive and find out little bits of information about them.
Harry, when you said in an editor's letter once, I don't think I have a picture for it, let's just leave it on us, or that's better, that the men were more vain than the women. Do you think that's true? You said that Harry Hamlin was more vain than Joan Collins. You said that.
If I said it.
Did you feel like you were able to photograph people without the publicists that Ben is talking about, that you just were able, you had freedom without publicists?
Some publicists should have been hung at dawn. Some would leave you in peace. But I must say, the majority were shit.
Thank you.
Because they tried to put other things in who shouldn't be in. It was interesting, though. I was lucky. I didn't have to work for a living. It was a lot of fun being a photographer. Did you three enjoy it? You don't look
Absolutely.
like you did.
I think that's very
You're too serious.
a big step. Yeah, you didn't have to work for a living. If you enjoy what you do, it sounds like a cliche, but it's real.
You never.
Yeah, I love what I do.
You did? Oh, you did. Oh, that's good. One out of four.
Me as well.
Who work for a living. I don't know what I would have done. Would you?
I think I'm still figuring it out. I think you have a lot more years ahead of me to be confident in your experience.
Well, Phylicia has an amazing story, if you don't mind if I say it. Phylicia used to work at Time Inc. in finance before heading out to be a photographer, and I did not know that until relatively recently, so totally unrelated to her working for us.
So I used to work in finance. I have a degree in accounting. So did a slight pivot. But one of the companies I used to work for was Time Inc. They used to be the parent company for several magazines. One of them was People magazine. But in my finance role, I was in ad sales finance. I was responsible for tracking revenue and making sure we were making money. So no connection to the actual editorial side or even photography. Sometimes I wish I did, and then I'll maybe have a little bit more information going into it. But definitely felt like a full circle moment once I did decide to become a photographer and make the connection with people in other magazines that I had worked with on the money side. Yeah, so I pinch myself from time to time, like, this is real.
I would like to say something. No, I'll tell you what it is. I've got MC Martin and Maddie Miller sitting over there. They would give me jobs, a lot of jobs. But it was good if they sent you to a place for like Rome, where you know if you're going to be there for a week, you're going to eat very well. And they were stupid enough to send me to these places.
We sent Elinor to prison.
And I want to tell you, I want to thank them for it. And MC, thank you very much for. I don't know what I would have done if I had worked for a living, I know John Dello. Stand up, John.
John is Harry's assistant of many, many years, so he knows all the stories that Harry is telling and was there for most of them. Were you there for Muhammad Ali?
That was before my time.
Okay.
Were you not with Ali?
No.
Ali was great, was wonderful to photograph. He always gave you a picture, and it would always be fun. And you would good pictures that he never did before. Generous man. Then he would insist you had lunch with him or a snack. Then some celebrities are just shit. It's good, my language.
I love it. Ben, do you think that?
I do. I agree with it. I mean, some of my favorite pictures are taken by Harry. His session with Muhammad Ali and the Beatles. And with his first story, I thought, because he obviously had a very good relationship with Muhammad Ali and a familiarity there. So, I mean, those pictures where you had so much, you had music, cult heroes, sportsmen, all in one room, in one image, in one session, and it just they're incredible photos. If you put something like that on your wish list as a photographer, and they're taken in a gym as well, and it wasn't, it was a great session.
Do you find there's people like that today? People who you
There
have
are.
such a great relationship
Absolutely.
with?
There are. I mean, it does take a lot to forge a genuine relationships, and a lot of these relationships we're making as photographers aren't, perhaps they're permanent, but they're not. They're sincere, but they're not. Do you go out to dinner afterwards? Do you have lunch? That's another level, and you don't want to impose but. There's definitely a lot of young people out there. When I shot that portfolio that was up there, there's a lot of culture amongst the young people where it's a bit more inviting. And we talked about publicists before, where the culture of the publicist just being a no person or being someone to fear and sort of not dislike or be cautious of on a shoot, they kind of stand back now and they read the room and read whether their talent is.
Yeah, but we keep their image alive.
Yeah.
We keep their celebrity, we keep the image alive.
Right.
But it's interesting, Ben, that you're saying, you forge relationships after shooting people multiple times, where Elinor, do you have the experience at going back to a subject or returning? Like, I'd love to know, Samantha Rodriguez, how did she survive COVID with her family? Where are those kids now? We should do that. Have you had that opportunity?
I mean, unless the magazine sends me, there's some people I keep in touch with, but
interesting.
most people I don't, because I work for Audemars, I do many stories, I do my personal work, the curators, the exhibitions, the museums, the magazine. Yeah. You can't keep in touch, and people, I always give the people the work, so everyone I photographed get all of those images. But other than that,
we're running out of time, so to wrap up, a final question for everyone. You are all extremely accomplished and have photographed everyone, maybe. Is there anyone on your bucket list? Is there anyone who you still say, I would love to take their picture? Harry, is there anyone who you didn't get to photograph that you wanted to photograph?
There's a few. Oh, yeah. No, I'd like to photograph the Pope.
Oh, I like that.
So, when he goes in that door and the curtain comes down, what's going on? I would like to go with him. You know what I mean?
start working on the...
Yeah, let me see if I can get the Pope. Yeah. Does the Pope have a rep? I'm not sure.
Because that's what photography does. It should be, you want to see pictures, images you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. That's what a photojournalist is looking for, is, I've never seen that before. That's the difficult part, is getting pictures no one's seen before,
Very true. Phylicia, is there someone...
So we're all failures, Terrible, we failed.
Yes, First Lady Michelle Obama. So for everyone in the room, also open to working with other people, but First Lady Michelle Obama.
I appreciate the gumption. Put it out in the world. Ben, is there anyone who you would love to photograph?
There's been plenty of people, but I'd have to go back in time because...
who is no longer with us? Who you'd love to photograph?
Everybody I photograph at that moment in time, they're the most important person to me. So that is my bucket list, and I try to put that across. And I know it sounds cliche, and I'm sure everybody else absolutely does that in order to accomplish the results that they do. But I think looking back at people's careers like Harry's is if you get someone when they're young, before they're really famous, like that like these sessions we've mentioned, like the ones you've brought up, then those things are incredibly important and they become incredibly iconic. You know, like I would have, like I'm looking at the picture of Obama over there, and I remember seeing pictures on the internet when he was young in college that perhaps one of his friends photographed. If I'd been that photographer, that would have been my bucket list. You know, if I'd have photographed Michael Caine punching at the camera when he was younger, then that would have been my bucket list too. So who knows, maybe my bucket list is going to come about without me even knowing it, you know.
I love
And
that,
50
yeah.
years later, I'll get the word, hey, you ticked it off.
You're like, that was the photo. That was it. Elinor, obviously I know celebrities are not your area, but is there a subject matter where you would love a brand, people, or other words, to say, call me to cover this. This is something I'm interested in that I haven't had the opportunity.
I think, there's a reason why I don't photograph the celebrities, because for me, everyone is interesting. A little bit like what Ben just said, but in a different way, because I'm a different kind of photographer, but it's all the same. So again, I don't want to sound like, it does sound like a cliche, but it's really true. Wherever there is emotions, connection, relationships, intimacy, I want to photograph it, and it can be you or you or you or you. It doesn't, if someone will let me in, every life is interesting. Everyone is interesting.
And I think it's so beautiful the way you photograph real people, and the images we saw tonight is so similar to the way we also capture celebrity. Maybe, unfortunately, because of the stories we hire you for are maybe not happy ever. There's always struggle. We're not calling you to say, someone's having a great day. Go check it out. Go spend 2 days with them.
When I get an assignment, my husband said, what happened? Who's sick?
But I feel like you're capturing those moments the same way Harry captured the moment with Dolly, or the moment with Tracy, and the way Ben is capturing, Kate Hudson walking down the hallway to the award show. It's all these beautiful, intimate moments in time. Well, I want to thank everyone so much for coming this evening. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for the panelists. I know everyone is so busy. And thank you to Wendy and Photografista, and I hope everyone enjoys the exhibit. Obviously, it is a small drop in the bucket of the photographs that have been created for people over the past 50 years, but I think we tell beautiful stories of both real people having horrible things happen to them and lovely things, and celebrities across the spectrum. So thank you so much, everyone.
And thank you to Ilana.